Yo, let's talk about that time Blade had to put down a Vampire Wolverine. Now our story starts off with Blade and Wolverine back to back as these two are surrounded by a goddamn platoon of vampires, and Blade and Wolverine are going all in on these guys. And as the fight persists, Blade is making short work of these guys with his sword, as Wolverine is making short work of the vampires with his claws. Now after the fight is over and these two annihilate all the vampires in their wake, these two part ways. 6 months later, we catch up with Wolverine in New York as he's getting ambushed by a flying vampire, and he believes this flying vampire to be some sort of pro-mutant terrorist. And as Wolverine is fighting this vampire mutant, he manages to knock the vamp into a stake, and the vamp subsequently bursts into ash. So based off that, Wolverine wants to do some investigating because this reminds him of the incident 6 months ago with all the vampires. Next, we catch up with Blade in Bonstadt, Germany. Blade is doing what Blade does best, as Blade is killing the fuck out of some very powerful vampires. Now as Blade wipes out the last of these guys, he notices a symbol on the chest of one. Now this symbol reminds him of the incident that happened 6 months ago, and it also reminds him of something called the Creed Messiah. Based off of what he finds, he decides to do a little bit of investigating. Next, we catch up with Wolverine in Greenwich Village, New York, as Wolverine has caught up with Doctor Strange in order to get some answers on this chest that has come into their possession. Doctor Strange informs Wolverine that the chest is of vampiric origin, and Doctor Strange warns him of this prophecy that has something to do with the Creed Messiah that Wolverine and Blade already seem to be vaguely familiar with. Next, we catch up with Blade, as Blade is literally shaking down this Tekashi 6ix9ine looking motherfucker, and I shit you not, it's almost like they put Tekashi 6ix9ine in the comic. Anyway, Tekashi gives Blade a little bit of intel on the Creed Messiah, and he lets him know that the Creed has been turning mutants into vamps. Next, we catch up with Wolverine in Belize, Central America, as the results of Wolverine's investigation has led him to this location. Now Blade is already at this location waiting on him because the results of Blade's investigation have told him that the Creed Messiah was a mutant and that he would be at this location. Now from Blade's perspective, it kind of looks as if Wolverine is the Creed Messiah, as Blade's investigation has brought him to this location, and if Wolverine is not with the Creed, why would he even be here? Now Wolverine has also been investigating the Creed Messiah, so now from Wolverine's perspective, it looks as if Blade is the vamp who's been turning mutants into vampires. So these two jump out of the cuts on one another, and one thing leads to another, and a big ass fight ensues over who's going to kill the Messiah. Now during the fight, Wolverine is actually kind of getting his ass whooped, and he ends up getting impaled by Blade's sword. But Wolverine pulls the sword out like it's nothing, as Wolverine deals with this type of shit all the time. So Wolverine proceeds to try to claw the shit out of Blade, but during the course of the fight, Blade starts hitting Wolverine with some anti-vampire glaives, and that's when Wolverine realizes he's using anti-vampire weapons against me because he thinks I am the Creed Messiah. That's when Wolverine finally realizes they have a common goal, and Blade and Wolverine stop fighting at that point. Now as these two stop fighting, they actually end up getting third-partied by another Wolverine, and this Wolverine looks like he obviously has some vampire DNA within him. So as Vampire Wolverine pops up, Wolverine gets pissed off and immediately charges him and starts attacking him indiscriminately. And so as these two are going at it, a slew of other vampires start running out of nowhere. But before they can join the fight, Blade starts doing what Blade does best and starts eliminating the additional vampires. So as Wolverine and Vampire Wolverine are duking it out, Wolverine finally comes to the conclusion that they were able to clone his body due to all the clumps of flesh he's been leaving around every time he's gotten blown apart. And based off that, they were able to collect enough of his DNA to create a whole new Wolverine, except this time they created a Wolverine using vampire DNA. So as Wolverine and Vampire Wolverine are duking it out, Vampire Wolverine is actually proving to be pretty formidable, so he manages to stalemate the real Wolverine, but luckily, Blade manages to take out the last of the vampiric minions, and at this point, he joins Logan and they're able to team up on Vampire Wolverine, and together with their combined fighting prowess, they do manage to take down Vampire Wolverine. And upon taking down Vampire Wolverine, they behead him and then incinerate his corpse as well as his final resting place. And that's pretty much that, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, sub, peace.